What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another movie review. And today I have a review of Coming to America. I did a review of the first movie recently, and I really enjoyed that movie. Before I get into my thoughts on this one, I do want to say what the movie's actually about before I actually review the movie. So let me do that first. Movie's about Akeem. Wait, not Akeem. Is that Akeem? Am I saying that right? Am I saying that right? His name's Akeem, right? I just finished the movie. Anyway, he finds out that he has got a bastard son from back when he visited America the first time. And he's going to bring him back so he can be king or be the heir to the throne, and hijinks ensue. That's basically what the movie's about. And one problem that I have with the movie is the fact that he has to bring that they bring a lot of the same plot points back up in this movie about how fighting tradition and doing that. A lot of the same beats. Now, where does the movie fall flat for me? The comedy is one place where the movie is definitely not that strong, because it is a lot weaker for how the film does its comedy, because the first movie was pretty darn funny. I was laughing a lot throughout that movie. This one, there's not as much. There's like one or two times where I had a good laugh, but like a lot of the jokes don't land. A lot of them aren't funny, and just a lot of them don't hit it for me. And the writing for this movie is not as good as the first one. Now, with that all being said, I don't hate this movie. I don't think it's awful. I don't necessarily even think I'd say it's bad. I enjoy a good bit of this. I think this movie still has heart like the first one did, which I really like. I think this one has good heart and has good emotional moments. There is some stuff that I wish could have been fleshed out a lot more. I really wish that was where the movie could have gone. I would have loved to have seen the movie get fleshed out a bit more with the characters, and I would have liked to see a little more. Some things I'd rather just see a little more of, if that makes sense. I'd rather see a little more of certain things done in the movie. There's this like stepmom character, or not stepmom, the mom of the Akeem's son is annoying. I don't like her. She's annoying. The new characters, like Akeem's daughter, is supposed to be the heir to the throne at first. I like her. I would like to see more with her. Even though we didn't get that much screen time with her. We got some decent little scenes, but like at the same time, I felt like they could have been more elaborated on. I think they could have done a little more. Well, I think they could have done with the plot of this movie. Instead, they could have been like, this is the thing about fighting tradition. It could have been like, okay, so the king is supposed to be like, you need to be a king and everything to rule, everything like that. But she wants to rule the kingdom, but she's a girl, blah blah blah. It would be better if it would have focused on that aspect and his daughter. But also, when that's also a storyline, when they do go with that storyline and they do, it's like kind of a side plot they bring up. It doesn't add anything new to that story, because we've seen that story before. And there's nothing wrong with that type of story. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a good type of story, but it doesn't add anything new, and it doesn't, and there's nothing really, some people always, sometimes when like they do some sorts of the same thing again, and I say they don't add anything new, that's not always a complaint. Because sometimes it can still be done entertainingly or interestingly without making really any changes to the act. It just depends on how it's presented. And here I feel like a very similar thing, like how it was in the Aladdin remake, which wasn't handled poorly there. I'm not going to say it was handled poorly here either, but I think it could have been, I don't know, I would have liked more focus on it, I think. Even though the filmmakers clearly wanted to focus on this other thing, they wanted to focus on both parts, but there's only so much they can do with both parts. Like, you got to focus on one more, make it the main storyline. And I do like the fact that spoilers, like the prince doesn't wind up becoming the heir to the throne. I like that. I do like that. I like that it sets up that the fact that she's gonna, after he passes away. After he passes away, she'll take over the throne, which I like. I do like that aspect, and I think it's a well done thing. But I just would have liked more. Now, here's the thing: this movie is meant to be a comedy, where most of the humor doesn't hit. A lot of the emotional moments, they work for me. The emotional moments, they work for me. The comedy is where the movie falls flat, which stinks to me. I would have liked, because the first movie was really funny. I enjoyed that. It does have some time, and you get stuff from the first movie, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. It feels like it repeats a lot of things. It doesn't really add much new. And when it does add something new, it doesn't elaborate on it that much. It doesn't do much like, hey. And I get trying to bring some stuff from the original and doing some similar things. That's kind of what a sequel kind of does sometimes. And this does try to do new things, but I feel like those new things could have been elaborated more and could have been more of a focus. And the jokes here, they turn into references or just different type of humor than the original had. There's literally a joke in the movie where it's talking about American cinema and being like, American cinema is a joke, blah blah. No one cares about anything unless it's a sequel or it's a remake or a superhero movie. And they go like, it's like, yeah, why mess with the original and make a sequel, blah blah blah, 30 years later that nobody wants. You're a sequel that no one asked for. Don't do that. The fact, just because you call yourself out isn't funny. It doesn't make... It doesn't... Sorry, my mind just blanked. It doesn't make a good joke. And if you think that is a funny joke... Well, I guess that's comedy subjective. But it's just... I don't... It's all haha, we do it, we made fun of exactly what we're doing, so it's okay. But it's just, it bothers me, personally. Like, when your movie's supposed to be meta, and I don't know, sometimes that kind of joke can work. Here it doesn't. It does not work here. Like, one way I can think about something like that, I haven't reviewed this movie yet, but here's a joke I can think of where that works. It's not really the sequel thing, but like when you point out your movie's a bad idea, and I think I actually get a laugh at it, especially when the Legacy's a good point. There's a joke in that movie where LeBron James says, "I'm not an actor. You can't put me in a movie and everything." And it's a horrible idea. That's funny because I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's subjective. I don't know. That works for me. I don't know. It's kind of hard to... Personally, I don't think this movie is bad. I think it was just passable. I would rather rewatch the first movie than rewatch this one. But this one does have its moments, especially with its emotional moments. I think that's... the villain in this is probably one of the better parts, even though, like, could have at least a little more of him. I really didn't mind how much we got. I thought we got just about enough. And this, the comedy is the main fault of the movie. Critics give this a 49 out of 49 on Rotten Tomatoes, and audiences give it a 38. I think 50 right down the middle is a great place to go for this movie, I think. I think it's a great place to go, so that's where I'm going to go to. 2.5, I think, is a fine place to put this movie out of 5. I don't know what it is about the movie. It's just, it doesn't resonate well with me. And I don't know. You get to see James Earl Jones again, which I like. He's not in the movie a lot. And most of the cast, I think pretty much all the cast that returns for this movie, which I applaud them. You even get a cameo from, for some reason, get a cameo from, Morgan Freeman, which I'm always happy to see Morgan Freeman. And you don't see Eddie Murphy do that much nowadays, so. But that's all I can really say about this review, about this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed it, though. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think of Coming to America? Why didn't you just call it Coming to America 2? I get the whole pun, but whatever. But what do you guys think of it? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? If you're a fan of the original, I definitely want to know your thoughts. I'm very curious to see what people think. And people who just recently saw both movies, like me, I recently just saw both, and I didn't grow up watching Coming to America or anything like that. I also want to point out, the original is like R-rated, from what I looked at earlier, and this one's PG-13. I wonder why that decision was made. I was gonna say so more people could see it, but this movie came out on Amazon Prime, so I'm curious. But that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.